The World Cup. I know I'm a fan, and I think, Lewis, that you're a fan as well.
It's not bad. It's
not,
all right.
We're talking about soccer, of course. The World Cup in 2018 and 2022 is going to take place at a location that has not yet been determined. And I guess the math guys have gotten together and they've said the World Cup would benefit the U.S. by at least $5 billion if the country is chosen to host either of these. And this is similar to when we were talking about the Olympics, that it makes sense for Barack Obama to travel to Copenhagen to lobby for the Olympics to come to the U.S. And there was the argument made that it would make a huge difference. It would bring in a lot of money. Well, $5 billion is the expected income through the World Cup. The U.S. bid group, which called this estimate conservative, also says that between 65,000 and 100,000 new jobs would be created in across the various cities. The World Cup usually is hosted across a number of cities during preparation and operation for the tournament. This is big. And I know that a lot of people in the U.S. don't care about soccer. I happen to like it. Being from Argentina, soccer's big. I don't know. It just seems like there's been a lot of conservatism that has been previously associated with national sporting events, so on and so forth, and patriotism that has kind of disappeared once Barack Obama started lobbying for the Olympics. And I don't know what will happen with soccer. Of course, soccer is not America's pastime. We know that. But it seems clear to me that this would be a huge financial benefit to the U.S.
Right, just like with the Olympics. But I imagine the same thing will happen if Obama tries to lobby for this.
Which is that he will be shunned.
Right.
I really don't get it.
And I mean, really, soccer, of all countries, soccer is probably the least popular in the United States.
Yeah, we could probably find some countries where it's less popular.
Major developed countries.
Other countries that have submitted bids or plan to include Australia, England, Indonesia, Japan, Russia, Netherlands, Belgium together, and Portugal, Spain together, which, like I said, the events, the games are spread over a number of cities. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And we hear so much talk about soon the U.S. is going to win a World Cup. You would think that they would be eager for that to take place in the U.S. I don't know.
I'm sure the team's eager to win a World Cup, but I think if you ask most Americans...
they don't care about soccer.
Probably not.
I don't know. A lot of people say it's boring. I really don't find it boring. It's just different. I mean, for example, baseball. To many people, baseball is incredibly boring. It's slow. Right. It's not the type of thing where you're necessarily on the edge of your seat the entire 3 hours. And it's similar to soccer in the sense that there's a lot happening with no scoring, and there's some scoring. It's a different experience, but I really don't find it boring. I don't know.
I feel like that's one of the biggest issues for people is the scoring issue. I
There's
think
not
that's
enough
why a lot of
scoring.
people find hockey boring because it's also a very low scoring game.
A lot of back and forth, not a lot of scoring.
But I enjoy soccer.
Yeah, I enjoy it as well. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. And the second that we saw conservative groups applaud when the United States was not awarded the Olympics that Barack Obama lobbied for, hopefully there won't be an anti-World Cup movement saying that it doesn't make any sense. I don't know. It seems not even enough people care about it for that to get going, but we'll see. Check writing. Lewis, how often do you write checks when you pay for stuff?
Almost never.
Right. I have not written a check for anything other than my mortgage and stuff that you pay by mail that you can't pay online for probably 10 years. And I really don't get, just recently I was in the supermarket, woman in front of me, not only was she in the express checkout lane with 50 of the same item, and I don't know, does 50 of the same item count as one item or is 50?
50 items.
It counts as 50.
Oh, yeah.
So she should not have been in that lane.
Get her out of there.
That's what I thought. Then she pulls out the checkbook, and there's nothing more annoying after you've already got someone operating as slowly as they possibly can in the grocery line than pulling out the checkbook. I don't even understand the point of using a check right now. Why not just use a debit card? It's free. You get the debit card for free. You're not slowing down the entire line, but using a check is one of the top ways to have your identity stolen. If you lose your debit card, you realize you've lost the debit card, you call the company, the debit card number's no good anymore, someone tries to use it, it may even help to catch them. If someone steals your checkbook, number one, if you don't write checks very often, you might not notice right away. Number two, people can write checks, and because they're not cashed right away, you don't know what's happened with those checks. Not to mention that it costs money to issue. Let's say you notice that your checkbook's gone and you issue a stop payment. It actually costs money in most cases to issue a stop payment on a check. Not to mention that it can take weeks to recover the money. It's a completely, I don't understand why anybody would write a check right now at a place like a supermarket, which takes everything from food stamps to diners club cards.
It seems obsolete.
It seems obsolete to me. It absolutely seems obsolete. And the other issue also is if somebody steals a couple of checks from your checkbook, it could take weeks before you notice that. I mean, presumably the next time you write a check, if you keep a good check register, you would realize, oh, I never wrote checks number 12 and 13 or whatever it is.
Right.
It just does not seem to make sense. It's slowing the line down. People need to stop using checks unless absolutely necessary. And I know that there's some small shops that will only take checks or cash. They don't take credit cards. That's fine. But if that's not the case, I mean, people are pulling out their license. Then they have to write their license number and their phone number on the check. Then they have to give an ID to the cashier. Everything has to be cross-verified. Sometimes you need to get a manager over to approve the check. Just swipe the debit card. I mean, really, I cannot think of a worse payment method than a check right now when literally any other type of payment would be accepted.
I agree. I've not had the same problem as you, getting stuck behind someone in a line doing that, but I agree.
So you would be equally frustrated if it happened to you.
I would be.
Healthcare.
I would be irate.
And we've seen that happen before, and we don't want that.
No.